I can't wait until I have a bigger place to work, where I'm not all jammed up and where I don't have other people's stuff all over the place, and where I have better lighting so I can make better videos, and where I can spread out and work on projects like this. I think I'm getting close, and today I'm going to give you an update on the Souls to Sawdust shop project, where that stands and what that's looking like. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing with this, tell you about this project, and I want to tell you about a treasure that I found yesterday in an antique store in Abingdon, Virginia. So welcome to episode 109 of Got It Made. Let's get started. If you're new to the channel, or if you've missed the last couple of episodes, you can go back to episode 107 and 108, where I announced that I'm trying to buy a bigger shop, finally. And I'm buying it from a church, from Souls to Sawdust. And then I've had a fundraiser going on to help me raise some money to offset some of this monumental expense that I'm going to have. And how I'm not only going to use this building for myself, but how I hope to use it to benefit my community and other people like me. So I can't start anywhere today except with thank you. I've been really just overwhelmed with the number of folks who have stepped up and have, offered to help me in some way with this project. The fundraiser, I've raised some money. I haven't raised enough to buy the building or anything like that, but I've raised, I've raised enough money that it's really going to help, and it's really going to help me, get this thing off the ground. The fundraiser is kind of slowed down now. I'm going to leave it up there because, I'm just really in the deep end. I'm shooting straight with you. I'm putting it down about $50,000 of my own money. Any money that I can raise on top of that means the less that I'll have to borrow, and the less that, I'll have to spend, out of my already dwindling ability on things like, upgrading the power and HVAC and putting lipstick on a pig, all these kinds of things. It's been tremendously helpful, and I've been tremendously humbled by it. $20 bills a few times over, $50 a few times over, $100 a few times over, $500 a few times over. It goes a long way, and I'm just really grateful, and I hope one day that everyone who has contributed and shown faith in me, that I'll find a way to, pay you back somehow, or show you that I was a good investment. I've also had a lot of people reach out and say, I want to help. I don't have any extra money to chip in, but I'm willing to sweat with you. And I've been really humbled by that too, because sweat equity spends just as well as dollar bills in this circumstance, and I'm going to need the sweat equity. Think about, you've seen this building, think about how I feel right now. It's like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? So those who have offered to sweat with me, I'm grateful for that as well. As all this is starting to become real, and as I'm starting to process it, I'm struggling a little bit with, what does Peter Pan want to be when he grows up? What do I want to do? How do I want to use this space? The slate is so clean. I've never experienced it. I've never experienced a situation where the slate was so clean, and there's so many opportunities and so many ways that I could take this. I've got a really big building. I've got a lot of property. How am I going to use it to not only benefit me, but to benefit my community and to benefit other people like me and you? Well, obviously, I want the space in the back so I can have a bigger shop, that I can work on things and do projects and do videos and hopefully make a living. One of the aspects of this building and this property is it will have a retail store in it. And I have to do that to satisfy the zoning that's placed upon that building. Early on, I was kind of dismissive of the retail store. I thought I'll just put like a little show store in there to satisfy the zoning people. As my thinking of this has matured over the last few weeks, I think that I might be wise to focus a little more on the retail aspect of this building or this property. I think I should focus on that so that maybe that could be another engine that's generating some revenue to pay the bills. If I can get the bills paid, I can buy my own groceries with the things that I do, but I need something in the background clicking off, you know, paying the mortgage and the light bill and all that stuff. Because of that, I think I want to focus a little more on this retail component. I met with Nathan out of the Woods Forestry this week, and I think that what's going to happen is a lot of his hardwood lumber and slabs are going to appear in that store, and that's something our community needs, because I hope it's a place that I can put some of the things that I make, some of my doodads. I hope it's a place that people like you want to put your doodad, or people like us, you know, local or not local, want to put their doodads and sell in the store. So yeah, the slate's clean. I'm working through all that. What's the retail store going to be? What all is going to be in it, and how does that support, you know, the overall business? The other component is, how am I going to support other people like me and you with the space? Well, I've got a little extra room in the building. I can probably provide to, you know, an artisan that doesn't require a whole lot of space with whatever their trade is. But I've got a lot of property outside of the building, and I'd really like to build some kind of, you know, artisans market, you know, craftsman fair kind of thing on Saturdays in the warm months of the year, where people can display and have, you know, people coming to the shop, you know, setting their tents up and food trucks and all that kind of stuff. I've just got so many things that I hope that I can do. I hope that I can do a handful of them well, because I think this will be good. This will be good for the business, and good for the community, and good for other people. So the slate is clean, and I'm trying to, not writing in Sharpie, I'm writing in erasable marker, but I'm trying to start writing on the slate. Part of the problem I'm having right now is this limbo that I'm in, the limbo of, I don't have the building yet, but I almost have it, but I'm in this transition of, you know, getting a place and moving my stuff and starting this new version of my business. I'm just in this transition, and I'm having I can't really tear into anything, any other projects or anything like that, because I'm running back and forth to the banker and to the, you know, doing all these things and working on all these things, competing priorities, and that is probably the ultimate priority for me right now. So this transition, you know, is tough because I'm not making any money, really. I'm not doing any substantial projects. But I think this will pass too. This is a fun time. I'm enjoying it. But one thing that I have started is, you know, I've tried to use this time to, you know, try something new or try something different that may turn into a project in the future. So I got all wound up a couple of weeks ago on not building a traditional guitar, but building one of these, I'm a little late to the game on this, other people are doing it for a long time, but building one of these cigar box guitars. So I've never done anything like this before. This is just a cigar box, and here's my journey into building a neck. I've got it slotted, it's ready for the frets. Cut a stencil on the laser at the Makerspace for a 25.5-inch scale, fret length. I did one in acrylic too. So I've got the frets cut, and yesterday I started shaping the neck. You can't see, but anyway, I started shaping it with a spoke shave. And yeah, so this is the beginning of my neck. I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. I've never built a guitar. I play guitar, and I've always been interested, but I'm not a guitar builder. I just hope I can become a cigar box guitar builder, because I think this is going to be really cool. Yeah, I just dig this. And I've heard some, and they get some really good sound out of it. And I want to figure this out and crack the code, and then come back with a better build video, because right now I'm just cobbling this up with the hopes that it'll work. This is a stencil that I cut on the CNC, which helped me with the use of a router with a guide bearing, cut that neck shape out. I wasn't able to cut the full Stratocaster part because my blank wasn't wide enough, so I kind of modified it to something like that. Cut that down to a 1/2 inch like a Strat. I've been modeling my Strat upstairs just to see if I'm going about this right. I believe my neck is a little bit too thick, so I'm going to try to shape it down even more. I don't know, we'll see. I'll keep you posted. I hope maybe by next weekend I might have some strings on it and make some noise with it, but that's one thing that I've been doing just to kind of keep my sanity in all this, is tinkering with this off and on as I have time. I had a cameo this week on the Out of the Woods Forestry Channel. Nathan came by. He had something off his sawmill that he needed to shorten and re-weld, so he met me down at the makerspace, and we welded that thing up. I think it turned out okay. He showed it in the video on his sawmill, and it appeared to be working, so hopefully it doesn't break off. I was telling him about a video that I did, a collaborative video I did a few years ago with Greg's Garage. It's called Shit Welders Say. If you haven't watched that video, I'll put a link below, but go check it out. Greg, that thing has over 2 million views, man. I had no idea. So yeah, Out of the Woods Forestry cameo and Shit Welders Say. My boy Cole came home from Tennessee Tech this weekend with his girlfriend, and we were hanging out yesterday in Abington, Virginia. It's a little town about 15 miles north of Bristol. And we went into this antique shop and we found an absolute treasure. This is going to be a future restoration project / video in the new shop. And I can't wait to get started on that. But for now, I'm just going to tell you what the treasure is. Check that out. A lot of you all know that I'm like a sign junkie. I dig signs, but I really, really dig neon signs. And neon is something that I aspire to learn how to do, blowing glass and making a neon sign. And I just geek out over these neon signs. And we found this thing in the antique shop, and I was astonished when I plugged it in. The neon's great. We found a serial number on it that indicated this thing was made around 1984, so it's 36 years old. The frame is in really tough shape. The tubes are good, but some of the like blackout paint on it needs to be scraped off or taken off somehow and then reapplied. But the neon itself looks really good, so I'm really, really completely jazzed about this sign, and I can't wait in the new shop to do a video on restoring this sign and bringing it back to its original glory and maybe even better. I appreciate you watching today, and I'll check back in a week or two when I have some news. Like I said earlier, I'm so grateful and so humbled to those who have offered assistance as I navigate this scary journey. I'm so grateful to everyone who has or still may chip into the fundraiser. I'm so grateful to everyone who's offered to sweat with me or offered to coach me or mentor me or give me advice or be a resource to bounce things off of. I'm really a lucky guy, and I'll never forget you. So I guess that I'll just go ahead and wrap up for now by saying I've had a good couple weeks. I hope you have too. Thanks for watching.